smoking, it's a revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution. It's being us versus the corrupt. Red dot, put a cross to your head. Let the Lord interrupt. Gun smoking, it's a revolution. Shots to your head, it's an execution.
What up?
What up, Liberty Goons? Man, welcome to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, we are doing you guys a podcast for the first time together in a hotel room. So
if it looks a little casting couch-ish,
it kind of is.
It kind of is. Girls, right over this way. No, I'm just playing. Don and I are in Knoxville, Tennessee for Goals for the Gun Owners of America conference. And we thought we'd bring you
some news.
Yeah, some news and a little short version of the Liberty Goons podcast.
Yeah.
We say short, but we'll probably sit here for 3 hours.
I mean, that's typically how it goes. Yeah, I mean, John today, he ended up going to Range Day.
Yeah, man.
What did you think about Range Day?
Man, what an experience. They did the Mad Minute after the national anthem, and so right at Home of the Brave, everybody on the firing line, I'm talking like hundreds of people that were lined up on this firing line, all just went for it. Sent it. And it was...
Just mag dumping the shit out of it?
Yeah, I will, I'll probably have that video up on To A Patriot at some point, but...
So, if you guys want to see what Range Day was like, go check out To A Patriot Ranch and make sure that you guys give him a subscribe subscribe to his YouTube channel and hit the freaking bell. And if you haven't done that already with us, I don't know what you're doing here. So hit the freaking bell and give us a like, drop a comment, tell us that we're dumbasses. We don't really care. We'll get in the chat with you and bark back at you, I guess. So.
I mean, we call ourselves dumbasses, so obviously we put out 2 episodes in a matter of a couple days this week, and
crazy. We've been busy,
and we still have stuff to talk about.
It's awkward enough that society is so crazy. I feel like you can make a podcast like every 10 minutes on something that happens.
Yes, I agree.
It's wild.
I agree.
So much stuff is happening that as soon as I hear something else, and then I forgot what I just heard. Like, it is that, like, overwhelming. Like, it's crazy, dude.
It is overwhelming.
I mean, with gun stuff, the gun law stuff that's going on right now, the Ninth Circuit Court today, that all the stuff that just happened about the 30-day waiting period, that stuff was crazy. All the, insane political, presidential shit that's going on.
I was just watching the news earlier, and even, what's her name, Maria Bartiromo on Fox News, she goes, there's been so much that just happened in the last hour, I forgot what I was going to ask you to a guest. Like, that's how crazy it is. So
it's insane, dude. It's, like, hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, when we talk, well, in case, I guess they don't really know this, but with me and you, what we typically do is we just write a few things down and we kind of just wing it and go from there. And people either like it or they don't, but we're just, giving our opinions on shit.
Well, we learned today from our analytics that it's 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
50% of you start watching and continue watching, and 50% of you just swipe off.
So we appreciate the 50 that stay on.
Fuck you to the other 50%.
Exactly.
Well, let's jump into the news for this week, or this episode.
Yeah, man.
Or this episode, since we're not doing them weekly now, we're doing them like extra bi-weekly.
I know, dude.
And forgive us, we are obviously not in our studios, our homes, so like we have notes on our phones here. So
forgive us.
Yeah, normally we have all of our stuff set up, but
right on the screen that where nobody can see it.
Yeah. Well, and I guess we didn't even introduce ourselves.
Well, look.
Yeah, you know who we are.
John.
Sometimes I call myself Don and him John. I don't know. So one of our favorite people for the last 24 hours has been trending on X.
And who's that?
Anna Paulina Luna.
Oh.
So
We should tell them about that, actually.
So, some libtard found an old video of Anna Paulina Luna in a one-piece Make America Great Again swimsuit.
And all the liberals cried.
The liberals lost their shit.
You know why? Because conservative women can actually wear a bikini.
This is true. Well, you know why else they were upset. She didn't have a dick.
That's the other part.
Yeah.
That was the main part.
She was a real woman.
Oh yeah. That's
She was a real woman, guys. So yeah, they lost their shit on X. And I mean, go to X, guys. Just search Anna Paulina Luna, and it's will
hilarious.
Just be like mind blown.
And then Matt Gates' wife chiming in.
Yes. So Matt Gates' wife starts posting beautiful patriotic women in bikinis, which is fantastic.
Just started trolling the left as hard. I mean, it was just like you just keep scrolling, and it's just like conservative women in bikinis, just the biggest troll on the planet.
Another one of our favorites, Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, Lauren Boebert was on there
in a bikini with a big old stomach tattoo.
Yeah, oh yeah. I
Didn't know. Now I know. I know what Anna Paulina's ass looks like, and I know.
Well, we know this.
Tattoo.
We know this because of the liberals. That's the crazy part.
Right. Thank you, libs.
Yeah, that's the wild part to me is like, okay, you want to talk shit about all of these women that are conservative. You pick okay. Let's be honest. Like I have a girl. My girl's in a bikini. There's tons of pictures of her in bikinis, right?
Sure.
If you have a girl, she's in a bikini, it gets posted on the internet. You guys have whatever, spring break, vacation, whatever the case is.
Yep.
You don't think anything about it.
No,
never, right? It's just like a normal.
Well, the crazy thing is, Anna Paulina Luna, she used to have a swimsuit line. So there's multiple videos of her in these swimsuits because she literally owned a bikini company.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the crazy part to me, though, is that something that's so normal, especially for women that live in Florida,
Miami, and I think those videos are from her when she lived in like the Panhandle area.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like, it's a one piece. It's not like it's like.
And go to Miami.
Yeah,
and see the liberals that are on the beaches there. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So one of the things that got brought up, obviously, if you guys have followed politics for long enough, there was a lot of stuff that got brought up about Anna Paulina Luna when she first started running for Congress. And like she had changed her last name. I believe her last name was like Meyerhoff or something like that because she had some like Jewish upbringings or something. And then that came into question. And then now all the libtards today are posting about how she used to be a stripper at a club in Tampa. And when like challenged on it, like, okay, like proof.
Yeah.
They post like this police report, and I didn't read through the whole police report because I just don't care what happened to her back then. It literally says under job description on her thing, waitress.
Yeah.
It's at a strip club.
But there's tons of waitresses.
She's a cocktail waitress.
Yeah, that's like a typical normal thing, especially in fucking Florida.
Yeah, and she was doing it as like a part-time job while she was in the military. After her husband got shot up in Afghanistan, and she had to like make money and take care of the family.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's crazy to me. But the even crazier part is it's like you post something that's like, it's not like if you guys go watch it, it's not like she's like. It's not like a thong string bikini.
No, it's a one piece.
It is a one-piece bikini, and they're going crazy over it. And I'm like, you just promoted this person so much. Now
she's a celebrity now.
Now she's a celebrity with Make America Great Again all over her, dude. You guys just blew her all the way up because now everybody knows who she is. And, like, I mean, we know who she is because of politics.
Yep.
But now the whole left is going to know who she is.
The funny thing
it's like the biggest promotion on the planet.
They were freeze framing the very end of that video where she turns around and it's just her butt showing. Like the actual post is a video, guys. It's of her doing like a little. I don't even want to put it up here because it's just not even. Like, we're not even about that.
Yeah.
But she does like a little like spin around. Well, the libs are using a freeze frame of the last portion of it that shows her butt, which it makes it look like she posted like
her butt,
and that's it. But in reality, it wasn't. It was her posing in this bikini and like turning around.
Well, yeah, she runs a swimsuit company,
right?
And it's like it's not like she was slinging ass for the internet. You know what I mean?
So like, shout out to Matt Gates' wife. Her name's Ginger. Go follow her, Ginger Gates, on X. You could scroll down through there, like.
It's hilarious, dude. She was trolling. And then the best was Anna Paulina Luna starts trolling back too. And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm a woman and I wore a bikini to the beach." And then she posted a photo that was like, Anna Paulina Luna caught wearing Ray-Bans, story news at 10 or something. Fucking hilarious. Because she is definitely the person like that with this happening to her. She does not give two shits. Yeah, dude.
Like, she's going to troll them. She's going to make fun of it.
It's crazy because that's what I keep saying. It's like, that's probably the one person if I was a Democrat, especially if I was a Democrat woman, like trying to go against conservative women, that's the last person I would go after.
Yeah.
Because, well, now you've blown her up. Now all these people think that she's attractive. That's the reason why they're reposting her. And then people are getting pissed because, you know, they're like, oh, she's showing off, blah, 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 blah. And it's like...
They were body shaming her, too.
And then they were... Yeah, but that's the...
And I'm sorry, guys. And I don't want to be crude about it because we absolutely do love Anna Paulina Luna. That is a person you do not want to body shame.
Yeah.
Like, she is a...
Yeah, she's fit.
Very fit, very attractive woman. And that's what you're going to pick to body shame?
That's crazy to me.
Like, I
out of all the fat old Democrats,
does everybody have to look like Nancy Pelosi?
Well, it's just like, but it just shows their hatred for women on the left. That's what it really is.
Yep. Like I said, if she had a penis hanging out of that one piece,
they would have praised her.
And they would have showed it to elementary school children.
Yeah, facts. I mean,
like
100%. It's wild. Oh, we'll get off to the another subject though, but yeah, that whole situation's wild.
Your boy, Poopy Pants Joe.
Do we have the video for that?
I don't have the video for that, but you
know
what? I am gonna play the video. We'll just throw it back in.
Okay.
In editing, so we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes. I told you we're going to have a soft landing. We're going to have a soft landing. My policies are working. Start writing that way, okay?
And Mr. President,
anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So anyway, now that you guys have seen the video, yeah, I mean, this is wild, dude. It's like comical for him being like, look, we're getting things down. We're doing this. We're doing a good job. Can't you see? Write that.
You got to give me credit. You got to
give me credit. You got to write that. It's like, dude, the stock market just crashed. Inflation is still rising.
Well, and the costs are still high.
And
just because inflation has slowed a little bit.
Yeah, but you got to look at it. This is what kills me about this. Where did we
start at?
Where did we start at? In go to 2020, when 2019 with Trump, and now go to where we are now. It is 33% up for food. I know in Texas right now, in San Antonio, it's 47% increase in housing. 47% in housing, which is mind-blowing.
Well, Florida and Texas went through the roof because of the Democratic policies during COVID.
Yes.
So it made people flood
to our states.
And I mean, I guess technically I was one of them. I did it for work at the time, not because I chose to move here.
But you're also not originally from California. That's just...
No. It's just where I chose to reside for some reason for 14 years. Fucking idiot, man. But for Biden to get up there and say, you need to give me credit for this, like...
Yeah, we're giving you credit for epic failure. That's exactly what we want to do.
Epic failure. Another one of your people, I don't know why I'm calling these people your people, Kamala Harris.
Oh, I haven't even seen her or heard about her at all.
You don't know she's running for president?
She hasn't been... I haven't heard any interview from her, like...
No.
Ever, actually.
Which is why...
Since 2020.
Yeah, which is why we have to throw in old clips from her and not new clips from her.
Yeah.
So we're going to play this clip right here.
What else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously, very seriously. And we know from the history of this issue in the United States that when you see these prices go up, it has a direct impact on the quality of life for all people in our country. So it's a big issue, and we take it seriously. And it is a priority, therefore.
So obviously, this woman can't be our president.
No. If she is, we have a real fucking problem.
So
the amount of word salad...
The amount of word salad right there...
was crazy, bro.
So when prices go high, that means like the cost of living is up.
And things get more expensive, so it puts more problems and issues with family. I mean, that's not exactly what she's saying, but it's...
You're doing better for her than she did on her own.
Yeah, which is wild. I mean, the amount of word salad, and then here's the best thing about this. This is the craziest part about it. So they ask her, what is she going to do about inflation? And all she talks about is, inflation's high.
Right, and what inflation is.
Yeah, and what inflation is. Okay, you didn't answer the question. You word salad your way through, and then hurried up and got off the subject matter because you didn't know how to stop inflation.
And people want to make fun of Trump because of how he talks. But then you go and watch Trump's video on what inflation is, and he shows a big thing of Tic Tacs and a little thing of Tic Tacs and says, "This is inflation." Like, you gotta give it, like, I get.
But he does it in such a comical way, and people don't know how to take it because he's being a smartass. Clearly, he's being a smartass because he knows that CNN, MSNBC, all these media outlets are there.
Yep.
And he's being like, oh, you retards that don't know anything about inflation, let me explain to you what this is. And, he does that. We watched a clip,
earlier
clip today. Oh, yeah, this guy is great. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, and, her policies really suck.
He goes, so I don't think it's going to rain today. There's no clouds in the sky. I freaking love it. Like, he literally trolls these people, and if you guys don't understand that that's what Trump does now, when he's saying stuff like that, when he's saying stupid shit,
he's saying it on purpose.
He's saying it on purpose. Like, he is literally trolling every single time he says shit like that. Because he wants to see if you're going to write about it, or if you're going to say something about it, and then people will chuckle, and that just gives him, like, more incentive to keep
going.
Yeah, and so, Kamala Harris sucks. Like,
no, she's really, really bad.
We started watching.
She's actually maybe worse than Joe Biden.
He goes, so yeah, what she's been doing is bad. We just watched it because we heard him talking about the skies and no rain, and so we watched it for like 30 seconds before we went out and got something to eat, and then he starts, Kamala, she's bad. Speaking of going out to eat, man, huge shout out to, what was the place called? Bourbon and...
Stock and Barrel.
Stock and Barrel.
Or Barrel and Stock? Stock and Barrel?
Stock and Barrel Stock.
Oh, hold on. I have the name of it. This place was phenomenal.
This place was phenomenal. So, we met...
Stock and Barrel.
Stock and Barrel. It's in downtown Knoxville. Shout out to the girls over there. We don't know their names. One of them, we'll just call her... what should we call the blonde one?
She was very country.
Yeah, very country girl.
We almost didn't understand what she was saying at first.
Yeah, country girl for sure. And then the other one was No Chill.
No Chill. We don't know their names.
We don't know their names. She had a shirt on that says, I just want to chill, or we need to chill, or
something like
made
that.
to chill. That's way off topic of why we were there, but we had some Elvis burgers.
Yeah, they actually told us, hey, you should try these out. And they kind of gave us a forewarning, like, hey, these are weird. That's what they told us.
Yeah.
But people like them. And, dude, that might have been one of the best unique
delicious
burgers I've ever had.
So if you guys don't know, Elvis loves peanut butter and bananas. So this burger, it was a regular burger with peanut butter, fried bananas, and bacon on it.
It was fire.
Delicious.
Dude, I would have never come up with that idea, dude.
Delicious. And cool. Like, downtown Knoxville is super cool.
Yeah.
We went out there having like a concert. It's like Thursday too, and they're just having like this little concert out in a park.
Yeah. And it's weird because it's city, but it's still like very country feeling here.
Yeah. I mean, now you drive, like, I was out at that range today in Sweetwater, if you all know where that's at. And I mean, it's
super country.
That was three teeth type of country out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and so like we didn't know these people from Adam, the two girls that were our bartender, servers, whatever you want to call them. But I mean, even with them, like, the accents are quite different here, right?
Yes, quite different.
And they actually called us out because they were like, "Oh, where are you guys from?"
Because we don't have. And
you do.
I mean, you even have a Southern accent.
And mine's more Southern because, I mean, I've been living in, I've lived in the South my whole life, but I've lived in different parts of the South, which has kind of blended different parts of, the Southern hemisphere of the United States together.
I used to have a Pennsylvania accent, and then I moved to California, Vegas, and then California, and so I completely got Valley Girl-ized.
That's hilarious.
If you can see, Don and I are wearing new hats.
Woo! Liberty Goons!
These will be up on the 2A Patriot Ranch website probably in about a week. After I get back from Goals, we'll launch them up there. So we'll let you guys know when they're up there. We were doing them as a trial run. Don didn't even know we were having them. He showed up and we had them. So we'll have those up on the website. We do have our shirts here for you guys. If you mention Goals, Liberty Goons, and your favorite Watchlist person or place, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Or organization, as we'll find out later today.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll have those to give out. We got 3 of them to give out. So hit us up, and we have patches with us too. So if you want to buy a Liberty Goons patch,
and they're fire.
Yeah, they're fire.
They're
up there.
Yeah, here, let me grab them. Super fire. I don't know if that's gonna focus, but either way, even if it doesn't, come get you one. They're $5, dirt cheap, and worth every single penny.
Super quality. I feel like Trump right now. Super quality.
They're the best.
They're the best
ever.
What else we got on track for this week, dude? It's time for John's segment. Trigger warning.
Boom, 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 boom.
So, backstory. I actually started telling Don about the trigger warning prior to the episode because this is the first time we've been together before an episode.
So he sits down and he goes, "Oh yeah, and this is what trigger warnings about." I'm like, "Why are you telling me this? We don't do this." He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop right now."
Yeah, so he got half of the story. So for any of you that have been following on the news, Monkeypox is now a thing, Don.
I know it. I still don't know. Well, I mean, I know, but I don't know.
Well, in true trigger warning fashion, I also don't fucking know much. Other than monkeypox is like a really, really bad version of chickenpox.
Yeah.
If I'm using just fucking our viewer type language.
Yeah.
Dumb language, if you will. Sorry, guys. And supposedly, it's highly contagious, and 4 out of every 100 people will die from it. There were 450 confirmed cases in the Congo. This started in Africa. What a surprise!
I think I do remember actually hearing about this now.
Yeah, and so it started in the Congo, and then it went to Kenya, and then Rwanda, and now there's been a confirmed case in Sweden. Now, this person had been to Africa, to those areas.
So basically, Bill Gates just gave everybody monkeypox and then jetted out.
Yeah, and so WHO obviously involved in this,
Always.
and they're basically saying like real big worldwide problem. Are you guys
ironic?
Are you guys hearing deja vu
all
here?
over again?
So Don, funny enough, Bavarian Nordic, so pharmaceutical company, they've made 10 million doses of a vaccine already.
Oh, wow.
Sounding familiar?
That's crazy, but they've already made it.
Yeah, they have it ready to go.
You know what's crazy? I feel like they're getting better at this, right? Because
they pre-made the vaccine.
They pre-made the vaccine, and now they can rush it into America, have a bunch of more people die, and then they can be like, only us, we are the only people that can solve this. We have the vaccine for it. I feel like, okay, so around this time is when we started to hear about COVID, the exact same time. And then obviously with, well, I don't know if I can say it on here, but the vid, we'll just say the vid.
Whatever it is now.
Became a real problem like October, November-ish, like the actual election. And we're here for that time. And there's always an October surprise.
Well, you know what's funny? You would talk about like such the same trajectory. So this is originally called monkeypox, right? Mm-hmm. Just like Trump called COVID the China virus, right?
Well, it came from China.
Yeah. So everybody got offended by that.
Yeah.
And so they had to start calling it COVID-19, or what else do we call it? The vid and the coronavirus.
Everybody started coming up with names.
So now they've changed the name of monkeypox to Mpox.
Mpox.
As to not offend the monkeys.
Oh.
I don't know if that's really why, but I'm assuming so that we didn't associate it with monkeys, even though I'm assuming it's called monkeypox because it probably started with
monkeys.
But we're calling it Mpox now.
Bro,
this is another thing. It's another fucking thing.
It's,
you know what the funny thing is? This isn't going to derail Kamala Harris the way that it derailed Trump. Trump would be our president right now had it not been for COVID-19.
Oh, 100%.
Am I going to have to bleep that out? Do you guys know? We say a lot of other shit on here, so.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, it's just facts. Like, I mean, clearly we had the best economy probably in both of our lifehoods. Under any president with Trump.
Yep.
Everything in society was going really, really well up until we had oh my goodness, the guy that they nailed it on his neck.
George Floyd.
Until the George Floyd stuff, that's when stuff started to slowly get out of hand.
Yep.
And then we started having a bunch of riots. And
thanks Tim Walz.
Yeah.
Balls.
Yep. And then things started to escalate from there. That's when CNN blamed it all on conservatives. And then that's when Democrats were like, oh, we have to abolish the police. We have to abolish the police. Defund the police. Defund the police.
And then
COVID. Just like that.
So now we've got a overthrow of the democratic process.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is.
We've got Kamala in hiding.
Well, I mean, not one interview, and since she's announced that she's going to be the, presidential nominee.
Yep. And then the WHO drops a worldwide pandemic.
Feels like it's happening all over again. It's like
all
deja
over
vu.
again. It's literally the same script.
They're just getting
And how dumb is everybody if you guys fall for this? Because you already fell for it once, and now it's just going to be the same thing over again.
Yeah. And we're not saying that the vid wasn't real. We all know that it was
a thing. I had it 3 times.
Yeah, it was a thing. But it was also a manufactured thing that literally came
From China.
Yeah.
China.
But it literally came from
A lab.
A lab where
that was funded by us.
By us.
By Fauci fucker.
Doing gain of function,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that's highly illegal to do, and nobody ever got slapped.
You know why?
Yeah,
It's highly illegal? Because shit like that happens.
Yes. And you got some weird human being in the background be like, oh, whoops, oh, fuck that up. Oh, nope, there it is. It's out.
It's out. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. And then everybody ends up getting it. I mean, I feel like they're just getting better, and they're just like, let's come up with another idea to do the exact same thing. The only difference is that now, it's weird to me that they've already came up with the vaccination. That's the crazy part. And what are they going to do? Are they going to force another vaccination on you to be able to do anything?
Is who is the biggest stockholder of Bavarian Nordic?
That's interesting. I'd like to know. I bet you it's BlackRock.
Or Vanguard.
Yep. I guarantee it.
So that's our trigger warning this week. I think that's a big trigger warning right there.
That's huge. And
you guys are going to look back on this in 3 months and go,
damn,
these guys fucking called it.
I hope not. I hope we didn't call it.
I hope not. You know what else on news? So I've got a Starbucks cup here, and I don't really drink Starbucks very often. I sometimes get a little basic in the fall.
Oh,
a
yeah?
little pumpkin spice latte. But normally I don't. I drink out of my Keurig. I drink either blackout coffee from our friends over at Guns and Gadgets, and I believe Anthony from our Scholars part of that. But a bunch of the guys. A bunch of the 2A guys.
A bunch of them that have all kind of grouped together and been part owners.
I either do that, or I used to do Black Rifle. Back in the day before a lot of stuff happened. But today I'm drinking this Starbucks, and I don't know if you even know this. So Starbucks stole a CEO this week. His name's Nichols is his name, I believe, from Chipotle.
Really?
Yeah, so basically this is the guy that came into Chipotle and brought them from the ashes after the whole E. coli.
Oh, yeah. That was 2015?
Yeah, 5-6 years ago, 7 years
16,
ago maybe.
something like that, yeah.
And so, this is the guy that brought them back. I mean, he's mastermind at marketing. And obviously, Starbucks has had their issues as of late.
Starbucks has massive ups and downs.
They're losing, their same-store growth is negative, I believe. Put it down in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Same-store growth is negative. Obviously, I know all this lingo because I live in that world. But yeah, and they hired away. Guess what happens? So this was if you were a Starbucks stock owner, you are loving life. It was up 30% that day.
I have a feeling, I don't know what he did, but I have a feeling of what he's done, because just from already catching what you're saying, I'm assuming him and other companies are doing this, he probably got rid of all the DEI bullshit, didn't he?
Well, I don't know what he's done yet. I mean, this is his first week.
He hasn't even done anything at all.
No, it literally on the news, Chipotle stock goes through the floor, and I'm not gonna name names because I want to remain private, but I have some friends that I worked with that also had worked at Chipotle, and they have stock options. Sorry about it, guys. But if you own Starbucks stock, it literally went through the roof.
That would have been a good time to buy in whenever everybody was...
Yeah, I was with a guy when the news came out, and he owns Starbucks stock, and he's the reason I know this story. I would have found out about it anyway, but he starts freaking out and telling me about it. And I'm like, oh my God, like, holy shit. I mean, it's big news. For those of you guys that are, like, just into business and stuff, like, that's, to know
like,
what Chipotle did to come from the depths of the ashes of, like, nobody would go, I didn't go there, because of it.
And then bringing themselves all the way out of it.
Yeah. To be in a top brand again, you know? I've heard there's issues with their culture and stuff there, but, like, as far as customer facing, they've done a good job.
I wonder if he's going to stop all the DEI stuff like all these other companies. You can see it.
Or how about the cop hating bullshit? Like telling people they're not going to serve cops and, like,
yeah,
just all the stuff that's happened in Starbucks.
But you see what's happening now where they've ended, like, companies are ending all the woke stuff and they're saying, no, we're done with this. We're done with DEI. We're done with all this shit. All of a sudden, their company turns around and starts to do well again.
Doesn't Anheuser-Busch InBev wish that they had done that prior to the Dylan Mulvaney stuff?
Absolutely. You know, and
caveat, I used to work for AB InBev prior to all of that.
But I mean, their whole stuff, even with them, I think what they did is they realized that they made a massive mistake. They kind of tucked their tail between their legs for a little while. They tried to put out a statement saying, we didn't know anything about it, when we're like, dude, we all work in the business side of things, and we work for, you know, we've all worked for major companies. Mm-hmm. We know that's a lie.
We absolutely know that's a lie.
So what they did is said, okay, well, where's the most manliest thing on the planet right now? The UFC.
Yep.
So let's go try to get a sponsor. Let's sponsor the UFC.
Yep.
So we can turn it around and be like, look, no, we still care.
We still do shit.
We still do stuff for the main, you know, your average man, your warrior, your, you know, American patriot. And it's like,
do you drink Bud Light?
No.
I don't drink Bud Light. We just had that chat earlier.
Yeah, I didn't drink Bud Light before.
I would have had one before, but like,
I mean, if it was around, yeah, I would drink
going to
it.
a country concert and shit like that, you know, like,
when that's all that they have, you know, sure, but yeah, I mean, and I still think that Budweiser is still kind of struggling through that. There's a lot of people that I know that still won't touch it.
So much market share that it will be very, very hard to come back from it. Plus, this on top of, I'm going to get into it just briefly here, but AB InBev has been going downhill since InBev took over. And they moved all their operations from St. Louis to New York City. They bought a ton of craft breweries. One that I worked for, that's how I worked for AB InBev. And the one that I worked for was actually a good call for them. It was a good decision for them. It's now a national brand and stuff. Doing really well. But they also bought like 9 other breweries that were like really bad investments. And then now they just had to divest from all of them. They just sold a bunch of them off because
they're losing their ass. Yeah.
So this is not just a marketing issue with AB InBev. This is a total
managing issue.
Yeah. Total fuck up from the ground up. And a lot of true American companies that get bought out by international conglomerates, this ends up happening because they don't understand, just as we don't understand when we buy foreign companies, they don't understand what our culture is, and they don't understand business in America.
Yeah.
You know, and it just leads them down these paths where like a storied and a historied brand like Anheuser-Busch.
Isn't it? Okay, so, and I could be wrong about this, but Anheuser-Busch, it doesn't like BlackRock have like a massive share in that company?
I don't know. I mean, they're
they're
owned wholly. I mean, obviously they're a publicly traded company now, or have been for a long time. But
yeah, but
InBev is the company that owns them now, but it's a Spanish company, I believe.
Correct, but I believe, and I could be wrong. So fact check me on here, guys. But I think they had. I think that maybe it's like 20% of their shares or something like that, or 10% is owned by BlackRock. And BlackRock, what they did, because when they joined the World Economic Forum, what they came out and said, they gave these regulations to all these major companies, and that's why you started seeing all this woke stuff. You started seeing it through Target, you started seeing it through, Budweiser.
Well, you have to get specific on how. So, like, BlackRock, and you may be right on the percentage thing. So BlackRock doesn't own 20% of X company, mostly. They have an investment arm that invests for individuals and for people and stuff like that. So they control.
Yeah, they actually
under their umbrella. They don't actually own the stock. Somebody, me or you, owns the stock.
Correct.
But they have heavy influence because they can tell their people to divest or invest more or whatever it is. So BlackRock in general doesn't own much of anything.
No, but what they are is that...
But they own pieces through tertiary means, so to speak, of their investment arms and their investors.
Well, and that's why they can control companies.
Just want to clarify that like BlackRock itself does not own it. But they control.
Because other people have invested. Okay, so you can have BlackRock shares and stocks, so you can invest into BlackRock. BlackRock then, in returns, invests into other companies.
Just like any other major hedge fund or anything.
Exactly. I mean, if you know, you know. So,
I just wanted to make sure that we could, because people are going on their keyboards right now. Does BlackRock own AB InBev? No, they don't.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant on
you
it.
didn't.
No, I know, but for them,
yeah.
For you guys watching, in case you thought that I meant that,
that Don was a bigger fucking idiot than he actually is. We are idiots, guys.
Sometimes, me and you are talking, and we know what we're talking about, and then we have to realize like they don't know.
Yeah.
So,
and we're really trying to get better at this. We and you guys thing. We don't tell us what you like because we don't really.
Yeah, we try to talk to each other.
It's really hard when we're not in the same place.
Yeah, because
we're just staring at the screen. But now we're together, so
it's a little bit different.
But Don was not trying to say that BlackRock owns AB InBev.
It's more or less of when the company owns a bunch of shares. And then they can influence.
Yeah.
And that's what shareholders do in company.
Yeah.
And it's not like me and John. Okay, if me and John were part of BlackRock and we said, or not part, let's say we're shareholders in BlackRock. Me and John don't have any say of what's happening in BlackRock.
Right.
It's the people that are the head of BlackRock who takes our money and then tells these companies what they can and can't do.
Right.
And they put up tons of regulations. And if you watch them during the World Economic Forum, this is what I was trying to talk about, where they said, oh, well, these companies have to do, X, Y, and Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of that stuff is like very woke, very DEI stuff.
But BlackRock does that intentionally, not because they believe in those things. It's all about the dollar for them.
Yes, but what doesn't make any sense to me, though, if that's the case, because we've seen it fail over and over and over and over again of what they've tried to do. Because we actually talked about this the other day. And think about this. For you guys, me and you had this conversation. There's about 10% of the population that's super far right.
Right.
10% of the population that's super far left. Everybody else is kind of centrist, or like centrist left or centrist right. There's no, the thing is that what you hear is the
big extremes.
Yeah. And because the far left is so obnoxiously loud, you think that's how the whole entire world is. But I promise you can go from city to state to every single small town in this country. Nobody actually thinks that. Like, that's not a thing.
No.
It's just they control the media, which is also in return...
Controls the voice.
Controls the voice, and then you start getting into these echo chambers. And that's what you think is actually happening nonstop 24/7, and then it infuriates you. And this is literally how things are manipulated and to brainwash people, essentially.
This is exactly how that happens.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hear us talk, so what Don's referencing right now, where what he and I were talking about in the moment was about Civil War.
Oh,
that's how we got on this topic, and we're not going to talk about that today. But
not the Civil War from the past.
We're talking about like another Civil War.
Correct.
If you guys want to hear us, because we actually would like to go deep into this because I think we have some thoughts, and we actually both listen to the same podcast separately. We didn't know each other listened to it. We both watched the same one, and this guy was, I think he had autism or something, but he was brilliant.
Stupid
young kid.
smart.
He's on the Matt Cox show podcast, so you can check him out. But if you want to hear us talk about that on an episode soon, leave it down in the comments, because we would love to. We try not. I think we talked about it, episode 1. We don't want to stoke like inflammatory language and stuff. That's not what we're about.
Yeah,
but I think there's time for an educated conversation.
Well, I think
about it.
And the thing that sucks is that we have an election coming up. So for you guys, it could be something that could get us potentially like kicked off or banned or whatever. So we're not trying to get in depth. Our conversation piece is not to incite any type of violence out there in the world. But what it is for is, hey, there are certain things that happen in every single country. You can look at England right now. There's things that make countries have a spillover. And those spillovers typically, unfortunately, turn into bloodshed.
Right. So we want to talk about the climate around what could cause these things.
Correct.
So we'd love to talk about that. If you want to hear us talk about that, leave it in the comments below, because we can definitely get into that over the course of the next couple episodes. Won't promise you when, but we'll get into it.
And we have some. I think both of us have like some really like incredible things to talk about on that subject. From different aspects and different angles. Angles and different
point of
views.
We both agreed with each other, but we were saying completely different things.
Yes.
So, yeah. You know what? It's so funny. I talked to my mom right after I talked to you about it, and she even said some more stuff to me that to a Patriot Mama, had some smart shit to say. Moving on.
Yeah.
That was our trigger warning, and then into me talking about Starbucks and Chipotle.
That kind of went off the rails.
We went off the rails into the Civil War from Chipotle. Sorry, Mr. Nichols, I believe your name is. I didn't mean to associate you with that. Our lighting's actually really good right now, isn't it?
Now the algorithm's going to have Chipotle and people that watch the Civil War.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out why we had a higher percentage of viewers from the Middle East, and then we realized that we were talking about the Middle East last week.
I was like, what the heck? What is going on?
What is going on here? Anyway, Don.
Yeah.
Your turn.
It's
time for
the Watchlist.
The Watchlist.
So the National Shooting Sports Foundation is on the watch list. Can you believe that?
I never thought that this would happen.
So,
well, I won't say that I necessarily wouldn't have ever thought that NSSF would be on there, but I didn't think we would put a gun advocacy type-ish group.
I mean, unless it's the NRA, because we all know that they're shitheads.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But I think everybody in the gun community that knows
we all
that.
think that.
We all think that. I mean, if you're an actual person,
if you're a gun person
in the gun community, not the person that just like, has a gun and shoots once a year or something.
Right.
I mean, people that are really into this stuff.
Right.
Holy cow, bro. Okay, in case you guys don't know who the National Shooting Sports Foundation is, this is the people who host SHOT Show every single year. And they made an insane mistake if they think that people are going to rally for them now and going to be excited for SHOT Show after what they did.
What did they do?
So, this is wild. So, they essentially, there was, and I'm trying to think of the state here. Colorado, yes. So, Colorado had a lawsuit going on, okay? And it was essentially what the National Shooting Sports Foundation was supposed to do, was supposed to have all of these statistics that they were supposed to bring to this court case.
With a professional. With an expert.
With an expert. An expert, okay? Everybody's got experts. The left, the right, we all got experts, okay? But these are actual, truly statistics on what was what was happening with the. And I'm not going to get into super detail about the whole court case because we could go forever and ever and ever.
You know that when we start talking about court cases.
Yeah, but essentially, they failed to bring the person that was their expert to the actual court hearing. Even worse than that, all they had to do was send the findings of the statistics to the court, and they refused to do it, which caused absolute chaos, in the hearing, where you think that you're going to have this evidence, and now...
And you don't. And their case is over.
And now their case is over with.
Shout out to VSO Gun Channel, because that's the channel I watched this whole story on. You guys can go if you want like the legal mumbo jumbo.
Yeah,
head
go
on
to that.
over there, or I bet you Anthony or Jared has probably talked about it too. So
I'm sure that they all have by now.
yeah. But if you want the details, go over there. But yeah, so now within our industry, well, I'll say I guess technically more my industry and you on the competition side of it, people are saying SHOT Show. I don't know.
And I will say this. I'm not gonna. So if you guys are watching this, who I was talking to today at the bar in Dallas, at the airport, waiting for our flight to come in, that was extremely delayed by like 2 hours.
Let's just say these people were major players within the
gun industry.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who actually brought it up to me. And, me and you have talked about this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a brief conversation when we were having it. But they were like, yeah, SHOT Shows is going to have their ass handed to them. Like, there is going to be a revolt this year for a SHOT Show. And they were basically saying that...
Justfully.
Yeah. Now, they were also saying, like, no, SHOT Show's still going to be a thing. Obviously, it's not going to just end SHOT Show, just like the NRA is still the NRA.
And they still have their NRA show, and there's people that don't go. And
Yep, exactly. And there's tons of people that are famous gun tubers. Like,
just like Colian's not here.
Yeah.
He's an NRA guy.
Well, he was part of the NRA.
Yeah.
At one point in time.
I'm just saying he's not here. He's not here goals because of his affiliation with them, I'm assuming. Sorry, Mr. Noir, if that's not why.
We don't know. We don't know.
I'm just assuming because he is an NRA guy. But just as
well, no. So actually, he used to work for the NRA, and then he left the NRA.
But he's still
in
the camp of the NRA.
I'm sure that he still has.
And I'm not saying that necessarily in a bad way or anything.
Before you guys take it out of context, Colian Noir has no affiliation when it comes to the decision making of what the NRA says, nor does he agree with the things that the NRA does. We're just stating he's well connected because he worked there, and I'm sure he still has friends there. And
exactly,
so
this
on
was
and so forth.
that was not meant as a hit piece. We don't hit other.
Yeah. And I love Colian Noir.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Texas guy. He lives in Dallas and does great things for the culture.
We are not Lucas Botkin.
I just wanted to make sure that was clear. So
that's a name I'll throw out there.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
Yeah. Well, we can all agree upon that.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he would probably hate our show too.
He absolutely would hate our show.
Yeah.
We say bad words, and we promote products that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
And we don't wear $800 plate care. Well, I guess I do.
Yeah, but also like he wears girl skinny jeans.
This is true,
which is weird.
And he's a LARPer. Not that LARPing is bad, guys.
No. I mean, I like to LARP too. I mean, we're not saying that.
But he's
that's
like
a bad thing.
Professional
LARPer.
We got way off track there, but so the point is that SHOT Show's still going to be a thing.
No, true. It will still be a thing. But
there's room for somebody to squeeze in now.
This is the conversation that we were having with these people. I wish I could tell you guys, but I didn't get permission to say these things on this show.
We'll ask for permission tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe we'll ask for permission. However, they think that somebody else is going to potentially slide in now, depending on how much flack they get for what they've just done.
I mean, I have a suggestion. GOA.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. That's where we're at today. And I think that
We're here for this thing now.
Yeah, and now, I mean, obviously, in case you guys don't know, Goals is more of like it's more of like a industry slash like
It's a public event too.
It's a
SHOT Show is not a public event.
Well, yeah, because okay, so SHOT Show is mainly it's a bunch of industry people going, connecting, and doing business, right?
Yeah,
that's the
checking
vast
out
majority.
new products. What are we going to carry? What are we not going to carry?
And then they bring influencers in. Those influencers
Because then we go and take a look at new products, and
yeah, and then those influencers put everything on YouTube. You see it, you go, "Oh my God, I wish I was at SHOT Show. That's incredible. I can't believe it. I've never
Right.
seen such and such." I love SHOT Show, right? Like, but it does make me feel like, whoa.
right. We're not saying we're not going to go.
Yeah. I don't want to, we're not saying that, but we do think that that GOA has the capability of being the industry leading party of where they could host an event where all these gun companies do come in and they do have what they would consider like a SHOT Show and still be able to hold the thing like we're going to now, Goals.
A much smaller.
Yeah, much smaller for the public.
And this is all about, there's going to be forums. There's like an LEO forum and
A bunch of speakers.
talking about the business. I'm telling you
Lawyers.
guys, just from being at Range Day earlier today, media and creator Range Day, some of the coolest people in the gun business are here. Like the coolest people. I mean, I have a much smaller channel than Collion or any of those type of people.
Yeah.
So I'm still a fanboy as well. And
And it's okay to be a fan, guys.
yeah, I was fanboying hardcore.
I mean, when the first time I went to SHOT Show, me too, like, I was like, whoa, it's cool. I'm getting to talk. I mean, I just had this conversation with you.
Yep.
And then you have these conversations, and then you're friends with them, and then you got their cell phone numbers, and then you're talking back and forth. Shout out to my boy Chris on 1911 Syndicate. I mean, me and him are homies. You know what I mean? And he's, came here not here in Knoxville, but has came to Texas. I've picked him up from the airport, taken him back, and we've hung out, chilled. I've introduced him to other podcasters. He's been on those podcaster shows. We're good friends, and he's probably one of my favorite gun reviewer guys that's out right now.
Because, to be honest with you guys, I don't know about other businesses, other industries. In the gun business, everybody's pretty cool.
I would say,
Except for Lucas Botkin.
we should just make this
Douchebag.
We should just label this: Kamala Harris and Lucas Botkin are the worst things for America.
As Trump would say, they're bad.
The worst.
The worst. So NSSF,
Yeah, dude, they have to be on the watch list.
you have officially been added to
The watch list. Yeah, and just to give you guys one more little update on that, if you guys want to know more about that, I'm pretty sure we can come up. What we'll do is, what is it?
VSO.
VSO. We will link VSO's actual YouTube channel because I want you guys to know about it. We've already been on this podcast for a hot little second here.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to get into all the details, but I definitely want you guys to be aware and know exactly what's happening. Because I do think it's very important for every single viewer to check that out.
I agree. And like I said, we're not saying we're not going to go to SHOT Show. We're not saying we are. I mean, we actually previously had said we were going to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think we have some things to contemplate now because we are progressives within the gun business.
That's a wild thing.
Right? we were progressives in the gun business, but we still kind of like stick with some,
we have standards, bro.
True standards, yeah.
We have standards.
Yeah.
I think that the gun world's great, like, unlike Lucas Botkin.
Douchebag.
I think that you can go and be any type of creator that you want to in the gun world. As long as you are promoting
safe.
Yeah, well, promote that. And the Second Amendment, the actual constitutional right of all people should be able to carry not just one specific type of gun, but all guns. No matter the round counts, no matter what it is, you should be able to carry anything that you want to. And as long as you're promoting that, whether it's you're having fun and you're dicking off, but you're still being safe.
Shout out PSR, shout out Dirty Civilian, because we know that he was talking specifically, douchebag Lucas Botkin was talking about you guys. And I just want to say, we haven't talked about this a whole lot.
We haven't.
I just want to say shout out to both of you. Well, Dirty Civilian's a group, but both PSR and Dirty Civilian, because I thought that your response videos to Lucas's dumbass marketing video that he did was fantastic. First of all, Dirty Civilian, you didn't even mention the douchebag and still put out a great response. PSR, you did, but I thought it was phenomenal. And yeah, that type of content's not for everybody. You know, PSR does some wild shit. I love your stuff, bro. But like, he does some wild shit. Even like even Grand Thumb shot a fucking a breast implant to see if it was ballistic for not. But like, that's the kind of shit that Lucas doesn't like. But Don, I completely agree with what you're saying. Go out, creators. Go out there and create whatever kind of content you want to create. I do, for the most part, more traditional content, you know? But guess what? Like, if you want to say dumb shit, you want to shoot a dildo, if you want to...
At the end of the day, it's entertainment.
It's entertainment. You know, like, I just don't understand why people would have a problem with that. And that's kind of what's wrong with society, is that I think everybody has a choice to look at stuff, not look at stuff, you know, whatever it is, as long as you're not jamming it down people's throat. And I guarantee you, if you went and talked to PSR and Dirty Civilian, they would say, I'm not going to jam my content down your throat. Watch me or don't watch me.
Well, and here's the bigger thing about it. Okay, I watch a lot of traditional content. One, because like I want to know more about the specific gun.
Mine's more traditionally informative.
You're giving the rundown of a spec of a gun.
Right.
What your personal experience is with it.
Exactly.
Which are things that I really, really like to watch, because especially if you're looking for a gun and then you're like, actually, I'm going to check out To a Patriot Ranch because they're talking about this gun. They might watch 5 other videos.
You know what's funny is that most of the people that watch my reviews and other traditional gun reviewers' reviews are people that have already bought the gun.
Really?
And they want to justify their own purchase.
Which is absolutely fine,
Which is fine. Keep watching my shit because
dude, I do the same thing with 2011s.
I do it.
I mean...
Well, it's funny because somebody was just talking about... it was Jared and Johnny B and Anthony on the Liberty Lounge podcast. They did a whole thing on creators. And they were talking about how people call like creators sellouts and stuff when they get, you know, free stuff. But they were talking about guns, and it was like, no, you're actually more lenient on guns that you purchase because you have a personal investment into them.
I agree.
So you want to justify your own purchase by saying something good about it, whereas with something somebody gave you, you don't have a vested interest in it.
You didn't put your money towards it.
No, and like obviously we all have relationships within this industry. Like I'll be upfront that most of the I will say 60-40 of the stuff that I review is either bought by me versus, you know, given to me or loaned to me or whatever.
To do a review on.
Yeah. With guns, just so you guys know, most of the time, reviewers don't keep them. Just so you know. Like that's... Now there are circumstances where you can keep them or you get discounts on them.
Yeah, I was going to say, or you can purchase the
but for the most part, you don't keep them, so you send them on. And I guarantee you that most of the big... you know, gun guys would say that nobody asks them to say good stuff about a gun or a piece of gear or anything. Like, go talk to Mr. Guns and Gear. Go talk to Honest Outlaw.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that, like, Chris over at Honest Outlaw is not getting paid to say something nice about a gun. Watch his reviews.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's one of my favorite reviewers, too, you know?
He's a traditional viewer.
Yeah, and
reviewer.
And then here's the thing. I will watch Grand Thumb for entertainment purposes while I'm at work because it's background noise.
And he's funny as shit.
So, yeah, and it's funny, and every once in a while I'll look down, have a chuckle, go back, continue to work. But if I'm really paying attention to like something like, I'm looking into purchasing this, I want to watch that traditional view and take on that product, because I have an interest in purchasing, or I already own it, whatever the case might be, or I'm trying to update it, make it better, or work on it, whatever the case might be as well. But it doesn't matter. Like everybody has a room. Everybody can fit. There's so many
space for everybody.
There's so many spots that are available to everybody, and you can watch. You can watch PSR. You can watch 3 videos from him and never watch another video ever again. But if you got what you wanted to watch out of those 3 videos, fantastic. That's all he cares about, anyways.
I'm gonna do something wild and crazy right now. I'm gonna do something wild and crazy. Lucas Botkin. This is the first time we've ever done this. You have also been added to
the watch list. Yeah, I'll be honest with you too. If we really get into this, I know, holy shit, we're doing this for a lot longer than we thought we were. This podcast.
I told you this could happen.
And yeah, we do. We run into these issues. Me and John do quite a bit. We get on rants, and but I'm not a fan of. Okay. Daniel Defense makes great guns.
Yes.
It is very suspicious to me that he's now cuckolding, essentially, Daniel Defense.
After being a BCM cuck for a long time.
Yeah, and he said that he is not going to represent any company that's not straight up 2A. Now, I watched the video with him because I was interested to see what he was going to say with Daniel Defense. I don't buy shit what Daniel Defense says. I don't buy anything that they say. They were literally trying to cover their ass. That's it.
Yes.
And what they should have done, if they really cared about the community, and their whole thing is like God and the Second Amendment, which is fantastic.
Which is Lucas Botkin's thing too.
No, hey, mine.
We talked about the Bible for most of the episode last time.
Yeah, ours too. We're regular people, dude.
I'm a sinner.
I'm not a. Yeah, none of us are saints. Lucas Botkin, you are far from a saint because you are a judgmental, weirdo human being.
Douchebag.
But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't understand how you can come out and you can say, I will only represent pro 2A companies. You make this big deal out of it. You fly to Daniel Defense, then you bring him on, and it's like, okay, then you should have asked him, all right, well, then why, during that congressional hearing, did you turn your back on the Second Amendment? Because that's what you did. And then he came up with some type of an excuse, and it's like, whoa, you're making an excuse.
But that's what Lucas's MO is. So like, he does these videos where he talks about like cheap Chinese knockoff like gear or whatever, right? And he goes in and bashes them, which I mentioned a little bit in one of my duty loadout video, where I was like, if you buy a plate carrier off of Temu, like, don't be surprised if your plates fall out the bottom of it, right? But like,
I think the vast majority of anybody knows that. Like,
yeah, but he like goes the extra mile. But come to find out, so you guys can research this whole thing on the side. But LTC, Live the Creed, makes IFACs, and just transparency, I have a relationship with LTC. Their pocket EDC kit. Take a look at T-Rex Arms website and tell me
it's the same shit.
They fucking copied it. They said they copied it. And hey, like, I'm not saying that a lot of people in this industry don't. You know how many versions of the Cry, plate carrier there are and stuff. So I'm not saying that people don't. And I'm not even saying it's bad.
There's a million knockoffs of Cry pants, bro.
Right. But what I am saying is you can't go on and make videos about fucking knockoffs and shit
when you're doing that yourself.
When you're doing the same thing.
Yes, exactly. It's just a lot of, I'm holier than thou, listen to me, I don't make mistakes, I'm right, you're wrong attitude.
Right, it's the most unchristian attitude to have.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, John, like me and you, okay, they don't know this, but for example, I got off on a random tangent on a couple podcasts ago, right? I know that I got off on a random, and I was cutting John off, and but in my head, I'm like, yo, no, stop. I'm trying to tell you this. But I wasn't letting John talk. So what I did is, what did I do? Go ahead.
You called me right afterwards.
Called you. And what did I say?
You're like, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
I made a mistake.
And I realized that I made that mistake. And instead of being like, no, I'm right. I'm not going to apologize for that. And then just, no.
And then we both just laughed it off.
Yeah. So because we're grown-ups.
Yeah.
You know?
It was, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal because we didn't make it a big deal and we were able to move on from it.
Yeah. And that's what you have to do, because this is the part that kills me most about Lucas Botkin. It's like, do you make mistakes?
Yes.
And once say, oh, I make mistakes, but then you never own up to the mistakes that you're making, not just in your own company, but also at the same time with other content creators that you're bashing, when you're doing the same stuff or even worse, and you're being super judgmental, and all you're doing is pushing people away from the Second Amendment.
And those same creators actually previously probably supported T-Rex arms.
For sure.
And had T-Rex holsters. And now, I have not liked douchebag Lucas Botkin from the beginning, but so I don't own any T-Rex arm stuff, but a lot of other creators did, because I will not knock their products. They have some quality stuff.
For sure. Absolutely. 100%.
But I'll take his road on
this. They make
this.
a great plate carrier for a very reasonable price.
Right. I'll take his road on this and say, I won't buy T-Rex arms because you legit called out the type of content that Don and I do on this podcast.
Yeah.
So you don't support me. Fuck you. I'm not supporting you. You know?
Which is, I mean, that's, I don't think he realizes how much that hurts his company. Because you got to think about this. Okay, PSR, let's just say he gets 100,000 views on a video. Okay? That's 100,000 I don't want to call them fanboys, but fanboys.
Sure.
Okay? It is what it is.
We all got them.
Yeah. 100,000 fanboys of PSR now going to never buy your stuff. You are literally chopping off the hand that fed you.
Yep.
It makes zero sense on why you would do that.
Yep. When you and he was specifically targeting a few people, which is why I mentioned PSR and Dirty Civilian and Grand Thumb, because you could tell that by some of you guys, like average viewers, wouldn't know that. He did mention PSR by name, which is, if you haven't caught it yet, why I keep saying Lucas Botkin douchebag, because that's kind of how he threw in PSR's name in there. He went PSR. That's why I was doing that. He didn't obviously call out a bunch of the other ones by name, but he hit with such a broad sword and a broad brush across so many content creators. Like, I personally took offense to what he was saying. And I know many other people did as well. And like, for that reason, that's why you're on the fucking watch list, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, dude. He has to be on the watch list. And I'm not so sure he's as pro 2A as he claims he is, just on some of the moves that he's been making here recently.
I bet you he thinks you shouldn't carry in church. I bet you if you asked him. This isn't slander because I don't know. But I bet you if you asked him, he would say he doesn't believe in carrying in church.
You're probably right. He probably doesn't. Which is a wild thing. But
anyway,
yeah. I mean, that's kind of neither here nor there.
We digress.
Yeah. Our point is go
out there, create content, do whatever you want to do.
That's exactly it. Be who you want to be, and this is the only thing I encourage creators to do. I encourage you to create the type of content that you want to make, that is your values, your understanding, and try to bring more people in.
Be honest.
that's probably the number one thing. If you don't know about something, just say you don't know about it.
Yep.
Hey, man, I just picked this up. It's cool. I liked it. I thought I wanted to share it with you, and this is what we're doing with it today.
Yep.
You
And
know?
just content creators in general, be honest about your relationships.
With companies.
With companies, I always mention it. I mean,
Yeah.
even on this podcast where I don't really have to, I make sure I say it because I want to be fully transparent about it.
Yeah.
Which is weird because this is the only industry I feel like you get forced into saying that. Like, exchange the word gun for basketballs.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to say, oh, I have a relationship with Spalding. So, like,
yeah.
that's why I'm saying this. Gun creators are the only ones that get, like, shit on, gun content creators, for, like, selling out. It's not selling out. It's our job.
Yeah.
It's a business. This is what we do. Yes, our business serves multiple purpose: information,
income,
comedy, entertainment.
Yeah.
All those things.
Your value to be watching the video to understand more of like what this specific item is that you may be interested in.
Yep. We specifically create a segment at the end of every podcast to give shout outs to people that we have relationships with.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we say it and we put it in the link below. If you see a link for something and it says use a discount code, I have a relationship with them.
Yeah. Yep.
We're transparent on this because we're not in this game to lie to people. And Lucas Botkin, you're a douchebag. Don't lie to people, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
I agree. And I'm gonna just end it on this because the Chinese shit drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, there isn't a company in America that is you can't find. I don't care if it's maybe Vortex.
Maybe.
But not even all of Vortex is making their glass in America. The vast majority of every single company glass is coming from China. And you know what we consider top tier glass here? Japanese glass.
Japanese glass, yep.
Or if you want to get really, 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 really top tier, then it's like
Swedish.
Swiss. Yes, Swiss.
Swiss glass, yeah.
Swiss glass.
Swarovski.
Exactly. None of it's made here, dude.
Yeah.
Now, do I have a problem with that? Well, I have the problem that we've sold out to all these other countries because we've been running through Democrats for so long that we just keep sending our own companies out to the rest of the world.
And we've made it so hard to make money in this country.
Yes, where it's like impossible to pay factory workers, employees to be innovative in America. So I have a problem with that, but I don't have a problem with these companies using the things that everybody else is trying to use.
Nope.
And there's nothing wrong. Okay, Hollison makes a fucking amazing
They
optic.
make a great optic. You and I both use them. We both have switched to 507 comps
Yes.
because we love them.
It's a fan-fucking-tastic red dot. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I have SROs, RMRs. What did I put on my open gun that I shoot with competitively?
See it Media Day, Swamp Fox.
Yeah, and that's another one, dude. Swamp Fox, bro, like, for what they're doing, it's so innovative. Yes, their glass is Chinese, but unreal
You want to talk
innovative.
about another Chinese product? I do. I've done a bunch of reviews on Sealy optics. You shot the Bull.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Ghost. I mean, the Ghost HDG. You were like, oh, wow. This is kind of nice.
Fantastic optic.
Fantastic optic. I have shown torture tests on my channel with them. Like, they're great optics, and they're not expensive, and they're Chinese.
My LPVO that I just bought.
Yep. Primary.
Yep. Primary arms. Chinese glass. Yes, put together right here in America. All that stuff. We get it. But it just drives me crazy. Like, these companies cannot control where that glass is made because if they did all want to make it in America, they wouldn't have a company.
Because they wouldn't sell them because they'd be too expensive.
Yes, and that's what you guys don't understand as the person that's buying this. Be like, oh, this cheap Chinese shit. Brother, if that cheap Chinese shit didn't exist, you wouldn't have anything.
Right. Exactly. And hey, I'm not taking anything away from reputable companies that make a ton of good stuff here in the United States.
No, we want you to.
We want you to. This is not a we prefer Chinese stuff. We prefer American-made products. You and I both love HRT. We've shouted them out here on the program.
Yep.
American-made stuff. I love them. I think that we should all buy their stuff. I have a relationship with Born Primitive. I love their stuff. American-made stuff. You know, we could go on and on and on about American products, and I wish I could buy all American products. I can't, and there's a reason for that. And part of that is the political foundation of this country has caused that to be a problem. So that could be a whole nother episode to talk about that.
That's even greater, because this is the reason why all you need to get up off your lazy asses in November and go vote for Donald Trump. No matter what you think about his Second Amendment, beliefs, he's light years ahead of Kamala Harris and balls. That's trying to strip away your Second Amendment and said that they were going to do it within the first 100 days anyways.
They're going to come confiscate your guns.
Yes, and they're working right now with England to arrest American people that are talking shit about England.
Yep. So keep worrying about the Chinese products while this happens.
Yeah. Keep worrying about that shit. It's bizarre to me.
Fuck you, Lucas Botkin.
It's bizarre to me that people are so focused on something so stupid about something as small as Chinese fucking glass, when you should be telling people, hey, you want to make changes, you want to get things back made in America, go vote. Yes, we know that voting doesn't solve everything. Me and John know that. We've been buying guns for a long fucking time. We're older in age. We're not 20
Me than him.
we're not 25, we're not 30. We've been through multiple presidents in our life, multiple Congresses in our life. We understand. But you have to go vote. And if you go vote and you continue to vote and put in the right people, well, guess what? The more things that are going to be better for the Second Amendment are going to happen. And the less, tyranny on our Second Amendment will happen as well. So that's why it's so important to vote. We get it. We know you want the NFA gone. So do we. We all have these crazy pipe dreams. Definitely. But
we have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Who was the first president you voted for?
The first president I voted for was Ron Paul.
Ron Paul.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this because how coincidental. I'll call it coincidental. Ironic, maybe. So the first president I had a chance to vote for was Bush. Same guy that ended up sending me to a war that we should have never been in.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
I liked Bush but we didn't know all the details because media is not the way that it.
I had some knockdown, drag out fights on the opposite side of the spectrum of what I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
Where I was like, no, you guys are fucking wrong. We should have been to Iraq, and this is why, and blah, blah, blah. Like, if you would have asked me in 2007 what my opinion was compared to 2024, vastly different.
And I think most of the people that were there during GWAT feel that exact same way.
Yeah, and most of us don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. But just a coincidence that the first president I ever voted for
sent you to war.
Sent me to war.
which is crazy.
That was the dangling Chad election.
But I will say this. Okay, even if you don't like George W. Bush, we have our own opinions about George W. Bush. What did George W. Bush do that was so great for the Second Amendment?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Think about this. Think about it real hard. So...
repealed the assault rifle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And large mag capacity.
Yep.
So, otherwise, none of you fuckers would have ARs right now. So that's the one good...
Thanks, George.
Yeah. So that's the one good thing that George W. Bush did. Yeah.
Thanks, W.
Yeah. That W. Bush did. Now, he's a rhino. We know that. And we know that he was... him and Cheney, that all they really wanted to do was go to war and get paid for it.
They're warmongers.
Yeah, which is all Democrats. And the difference is, so let's just say 2000, when did Biden or Obama, 2008?
2008.
Okay, so 2008, going all the way back to probably like the 1960s. No, I'm not going to say the 60s. That was a weird time.
70s.
70s. Let's say the 70s. We're basically all the same.
Yes.
It didn't matter really if you were Republican or Democrat. There wasn't even much that they could go different off of. It was just...
Go back and listen. I know you guys that were watching us because you're
Dude,
like this.
JFK would be a far right-wing guy.
Listen
now.
to the shit that Clinton just said in the late 90s about immigration.
Obama literally sent more people back than any president ever.
Mm-hmm. We didn't get this divisive
until
recently.
Well, yeah, because an outsider became the president.
Yep. Well, even right before that, we had the Ferguson stuff, and remember when BLM started during Obama.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it wasn't
super heavy, but I remember they were talking about it, kind of the election night of Hillary and Trump.
Mm-hmm. But then we all found out later that was propped up from George Soros and
Timothy Walls.
Yeah, and exactly. And not to mention, we're all known communists and part of the Communist Party of America, which is now becoming a
thing.
A thing? Well, I don't want to say that because people are going to get in the comments and they're going to be like, it's always been a thing. Okay, yeah, but it hasn't been a televised thing.
Right.
Just like Balls over there, who has proudly said that he was a socialist, nobody would ever say that.
Publicly?
No. That's a Democrat? A Democrat? Okay, if you guys don't know this, Lyndon B. Johnson, he said one of the most racist things that you could probably ever say, right? So whenever they were going in and they were passing the essentially what started all the
civil rights?
It was after the civil rights.
I was like, that was
essentially like the whole DEI stuff that I can't remember what it's
affirmative action.
Affirmative action. There we go. Perfect. Thank you so much. And I'm not saying anything bad about affirmative action. I'm not even going to get into that. But he passed it. He didn't even want to pass it. Nobody even on the Democratic side wanted to pass it. And what did he say afterwards? Do you know?
No, I don't.
He said, we will have these N-word voting for us for the next 100 years. That is literally what Lyndon B. Johnson said. Okay? And what have you seen? What have you seen? You have seen nothing but lies from the Democrat Party.
And in all of our major cities controlled by Democratic leadership that was elected by primarily African-American communities.
Yes, 100%. Well, inner city. We'll just call it inner city.
Yeah.
Inner city.
And I'm saying that really in their defense. This is not
This is not us saying anything bad. There's Coley Noor is a black guy, right? We all love Coley Noor. This is not a racist thing that we're having. This isn't even about that. What we're talking about.
I'm just saying you've been duped, just like I was duped by George W. Bush.
Correct. Well, this is a cultural thing, right? They're saying, hey, the Republicans don't care about you, yada, 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 yada. But when a Republican's in office, guess what? Black communities rise. Hispanic communities rise. Middle class communities rise. Poverty is lessened.
Yep.
Okay? And then when you have a Democrat come in,
we all fall.
Everybody falls, and then what they do is they hop online and they say, vote for us, we're the ones that we're going to take care of you.
Well, they continue to blame it on the previous administration.
We're going to take care of you, we're going to take care of you, we're going to take care of you. So everybody gets excited, goes votes, and then nothing happens. Obama's whole thing was what? Change. Not one thing fucking changed. And what did we have? One of the biggest recessions and housing market crashes of our lifetime.
Yep.
Biden becomes president. What do we have? A recession, housing market crisis. Now, not a housing market crash, but a housing market crisis. And the opposite factor where everything has gone up 47% and now you have 9% interest.
In fairness, George Bush and his cronies in the end of the Clinton administration caused the first housing crisis and crash.
Yeah, but what I was saying before is that Republicans and Democrats were basically the exact same thing. There was very little,
until now,
very minuscule things that were actually different about Romney. Mitt Romney is a Democrat. And 20 years ago, he was a conservative. JFK, if JFK was alive today, he would be considered a far right-wing guy.
Yep.
Super far right-wing guy.
Yep.
You know? And that's where we are with politics. I just urge you to vote for the person that's going to protect your rights, and keep the economy healthy, and put your families in the best financial place that they could possibly be in.
Somebody that can actually talk about inflation.
And somebody who's not going to send your children to war, endless, stupid fucking
Or
wars.
allow them to cut their genitals off without your permission.
There you go. It's real simple. It's real simple. We know not all problems are going to get solved. We realize that. I'm not voting to fix every single issue, because if I did, I would never vote for anybody. But you doing that just keeps setting us back and back and back and back. And we're never getting that push forward to ever fix anything.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Anyways, I think that's a good podcast right there, guys.
Yeah. Shout outs are just to all the people that are at Goals.
Yeah.
Lots of great companies. Saw a bunch today. Got to hang out with the guys. Shout out to SDS Imports. Got to shoot a couple of their guns. Q got to shoot a couple of their guns. The Shadow Systems boys were over there. Dead Air Silencers, they were there.
I wish I would have got to do the whole dead air.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting a bunch of people because there were so many people out there. But pay attention. All weekend long, we're going to have a ton of content on both Instagram at Liberty Goons, and we're going to have some guests for the first time.
For the very first time.
Lots of firsts. This is the first time Don and I have been in the same place for a podcast. This is the first time we've put two things on the watch list at the same time.
I didn't even know it was going to happen.
No, I just decided to do it. And we're also, we're going to have the owner of Stiff Lip Sups. Shout out to them. And then maybe Angry Sarge, for you guys familiar with him.
That would be
Sarge, if you're listening, I just put you on the spot.
That's going to be exciting.
And then we've got some other connections that we've made that we're going to.
Yeah, we're going to have to get into that.
We don't want to drop any other names, so we have it confirmed. But
yeah, I'll just give you, if you guys can see this real quick, and I'll just kind of flash it. And if you see it, you see it. Oh, that's it.
There was a W on there, I saw. But anyways, guys, really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're going to have more content than you guys can fucking throw down your throats over the course of the next 3-4 days. So with that,
Liberty Goons out.